Well, hello everyone. Today we are going to do a tour of the downtown Seattle area and a little bit of the area around it, like the Space Needle and the sports fields. We're actually sitting in T-Mobile Park, which is the home to the Seattle Mariners. And I was going to take off from here just to illustrate a point I've talked about before in my other videos of how poorly Microsoft really does with their scenery, primarily because in the past they didn't have helicopters. They had planes only, and planes were typically 1,500 plus feet in the air, so they didn't have to be as careful and attention to detail as they need to be with helicopters. So we're here sitting in a park here. From the sky, the lawn looks manicured and everything looks wonderful, but as you can see, we're facing the home plate. You can see that all the dirt looks like a tractor's been running around in it. The grass is long. The building, as you'll see, I'll do kind of a little turnaround while we're in here before we take off, but it looks like something, the building looks like something out of a dystopian movie. I mean, it's just silly that they can't do better. You can get better scenery, but you have to pay more for it. You've already paid a lot for the program from Microsoft. So anyway, it is what it is. This is the reason why we're not doing the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. That was going to be the video for today, but I went there and it is absolutely horrible scenery. So I decided we'd do Seattle instead. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and take off and take a look at some stuff. Here we go. So as you can see, it's just sloppy. It's just all done sloppily. Pretty big disappointment. That's why finding places to go that look nice and are entertaining for an audience is pretty difficult at times. So anyway, we're going to lift up out of here. We're facing north. You can see right here adjacent to this stadium is the stadium for the Seattle Seahawks. And we're going to come up a little bit. We'll do kind of a little bit of pan around here. This is the port of Seattle. The actual layout is very realistic, but some of the work done on the buildings and the cranes and things like that are pretty poor. So, oh yeah, I guess while we're doing a panning shot here, there's Mount Rainier in the distance. I may do a video up there at Mount Rainier. There's some cool stuff that we can see if they did a good job with the scenery. Reflection Lake is pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff to see, so I may do a video up there. We'll see what the scenery looks like first. So anyway, we're going to head towards the Space Needle. We're going to go through downtown. That main freeway off to the right there is I-5, Interstate 5. This is South Seattle. This is where a lot of the higher crime area in Seattle is, in South Seattle. Seattle has, over the years, become a lesser city. It used to be a pretty cool place to go to visit, a lot of things to see and do. Now it has fallen into disrepair and poor governing, and it's just sad to see. I lived and worked in Western Washington for most of my career, and in Olympia, the capital city. But we come to Seattle occasionally to do things, see things. Here's another example. If you look at that skyscraper on my left coming up, it looks like it's been bombed out. See, and they just could do better. The one on the right here looks pretty good. That one just looks terrible. So anyway, I'll try to stop complaining about it. I have heard that perhaps Microsoft 2024 may be better. This is Microsoft 2020. We'll see. It has its own issues too, that's why I haven't gone to it yet. Those are other things, not necessarily scenery related. Anyway, that's kind of the downtown area. Seattle, the Space Needle's coming up in front of us. We'll do a quick little peek at it, and maybe a little look at the waterfront, Seattle skyline, and then call it. You can look at the buildings off to the right of the Space Needle. That would be, this whole area below the Space Needle is what they call Seattle Center. This is where I think it was 1962 World's Fair was held, and most of the fair buildings are still there. Got a pretty decent science section, and there's stuff for the kids to do, and rides for them to ride on and stuff like that. So it's okay. It's pretty nice. So this is a Space Needle. They used to have a really nice restaurant up in here, and when we were there 5 years ago, they were doing a remodel, and it was questionable whether they would continue to have the nice restaurant. If you don't know, the restaurant was part of the section of the Space Needle that would rotate. So and I think it was 1 revolution per hour. So you could sit up there, have your meal, look at the scenery, and the scenery would change. It's very entertaining. But my understanding is they may not have that anymore. You can also see on the observation deck, you can see that they've got screening up around the observation deck, and that's because many people in the past have walked out onto the very edge and jumped to their death. It was a popular suicide spot for a long time, the 60s and 70s in particular. Then they finally got smart and put up the screening. So there's downtown Seattle in the background, and we're going to swing out over this body of water, which is the Puget Sound, and take a look at the skyline from there. The Puget Sound area has a lot of islands that people live on, and many of them, the only way on and off the island is by ferry. Quite an elaborate ferry system in Washington. It's been going on for a very, very long time. So these mountains, swing around here, these mountains in front of us are the Olympic Mountains. Pick up some speed here. There's Seattle from the waterfront area. And there we are back, looking back down to the port area and looking south towards Rainier. Rainier is actually southeast of Seattle, but anyway. So that's about it for this quick little tour. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, take care.